Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today is our food unit. And we're going to be talking about food that you can actually eat, but we're also going to be talking about utensils that you can eat as well. That seems to be kind of weird, unusual, that you would eat your fork and your knife and your spoon and your cup and your bowl and stuff like that. But I guess there are some trends that suggest that in the future, to be better to the environment, we're going to have some of these utensils that you can eat, and specifically we're going to be talking about a cup that has been developed in Czechia, or the Czech Republic, and maybe you could use that for drinks. After you finish your coffee, then you can chomp down the cup as well.
Yeah, I'm not very excited about eating a cup I just drank out of. I'm not sure how well it would hold the liquid either. You might have a time clock on it, meaning you can't leave the liquid in there forever, all day, just having a sip every hour. I do see that they encourage you not to wait too long before drinking all of it. But it's interesting. Our title is Don't Throw Out Your Cup. Now you can eat it. We're going to talk about a pretty cool invention that a couple of entrepreneurs invented, a disposable edible cup. Let's get started. We'll read through our lesson first.
Many of us have enjoyed a drink on the go in a disposable cup. They're portable and convenient, but millions of them end up in garbage dumps every day, negatively impacting our environment. 2 Czech university students have devised an alternative solution. Entrepreneurs Zuzana Zivrova and Miroslav Mironsuk realized edible cups might motivate people to minimize environmental waste. These have similar utility to an ice cream cone. Consumers can drink the liquid and then eat the container. The 2 students worked hard to develop a suitable dough recipe for these new cups. They're crunchy and made of natural vegan ingredients. They can hold hot or cold drinks and should be eaten within 45 minutes of containing liquid. So far, the cups being produced hold just 110 milliliters, but there are plans to manufacture larger ones. The cups are already in use in cafes around the country, and each costs about $9 NT. The Czech Republic isn't the only country to try this concept. Vendors outside the stadium of the Manchester City soccer team in the UK now offer the option of edible cups for coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. These 220 milliliter cups, also vegan and natural, are made by environmentally friendly product enterprise BioBite. Australian company Good Eddie began making natural vegan edible cups in 2020. It offers 180 milliliter and 240 milliliter natural vegan edible cups that are now distributed at corporate events. Innovative edible food and drink containers such as these may help reduce or eliminate disposable waste output.
Okay, guys, let's get started. Many of us have enjoyed a drink on the go in a disposable cup. I see a lot of people on the streets and on the sidewalks, having their cup of coffee or tea as they walk along the street. If you're on the go, you're moving around, you're busy, you're active. You're not taking the time to sit down and just relax and drink your cup of tea or coffee. You're on the go. You're busy. So for you, this new news might be really good. Of course, these disposable cups really hurt the environment. We end up throwing away all this trash. I know that drink stands and drink companies here in Taiwan are very popular. In fact, I wonder sometimes, are people eating lunch or just getting these drinks? My neighborhood has more drink shops than food shops or, places where you can get some noodles or rice. So it's kind of funny. Well, we've got all these disposable cups and they're littering our planet, and also they're hard to get rid of. They go to the dump, and it takes years and years for them to turn back into the earth that they came from. So these cups we're talking about today are portable, which means you can carry them around. They're convenient. They're very, very convenient, but millions of them, these disposable cups, end up in garbage dumps every day. And these are negatively impacting our environment, which I just talked about.
Indeed. And here in Taiwan, of course, supposedly most of those drink containers are recyclable, but I kind of doubt it because I was at the garbage collection point one time and those guys were just throwing the recyclables straight into the garbage truck and all that stuff was going to go straight to the incinerator. It just takes too much time to sort through all that stuff, especially if it's those paper containers that are plastic coated. It's pretty much impossible to recycle those. They are going to go straight into the incinerator. So indeed, they could end up in garbage dumps every day, or they could end up in incinerators. And that, of course, will negatively impact the environment. It will have a negative impact on the environment. Well, let's go to Czechia, or the Czech Republic. You can call it either one. 2 Czech university students have devised an alternative solution. So these are 2 students in Czechia, and they've come up with an alternative idea, another choice for people. Instead of using disposable cups, maybe you can use another choice. And if you devise something, that means you come up with a plan, you come up with an idea for something, and usually it does involve some kind of device. So they are related here to devise. That's the verb. A device is sort of an instrument, some kind of machine or something like that. And they've devised this solution. They've come up with it. They've imagined this solution, or I think they've actually brought it to reality.
They have. They're entrepreneurs. You can pronounce this word 2 ways, entrepreneur or entrepreneur. It's up to you. They're very close, aren't they? Entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are people who start a business and they're willing to risk losing their own money in order to make money off their great idea, whatever it is. Entrepreneurs are the ones who usually go on to be quite successful. If you just take a job with a big company, you're probably going to make pretty much the same amount of money every year with a little bit of a raise as you get older. But if you're willing to take a risk, yes, you might lose money if your idea doesn't work out or it isn't popular. But if it does, you can become rich. And you might feel pretty cool about coming up with your own business plan, starting your own business. I know people in Taiwan really love to have their own businesses. Well, these are 2 college students, and they thought, hey, we need to come up with a way to make edible cups. If you see this word edible, it means you can eat it. No, we don't use eatable, which I don't understand why we didn't use that word eatable, but someone came up with edible. It just means you can eat it. So these are eatable cups or edible cups, and they hoped that these cups might motivate people to minimize environmental waste or reduce the amount of trash we produce. To motivate just means to give someone a reason for doing something. What motivates you to study hard? Is it because you want to get good grades, you want to please your parents, or you want to be number 1 in your class, or you want to go to a great college? These are all reasons that might motivate you to study hard. Talk about these 2 ladies, Tom.
These are 2 entrepreneurs. They're also 2 Czech university students, and they have come up with this idea for edible cups, and they're hoping that this will motivate people to reduce or minimize environmental waste. And that's what we're always trying to do because we do produce a lot of garbage, and I believe we've been producing more during the pandemic because people are taking their food to go or having it delivered, and all that stuff has to come in those disposable containers. So I think the incinerators here in Taiwan have been working double duty. Now, moving on to the next sentence here, it says, these have similar utility to an ice cream cone. Consumers can drink the liquid and then eat the container. So that's an example of eating the food and then eating the container itself.
Yeah.
It's a very rare example. I can't think of many other examples, unless you can. But yeah, when you have an ice cream cone, you lick the ice cream, and then when it's done, you eat the cone. Unless the cone has already started to melt because the ice cream starts leaking down into it and stuff like that. That does happen sometimes, so you have to wrap a napkin around the bottom of it sometimes, especially during the summer.
And we also have taco salad, where they take a flour tortilla and they make it into a bowl. But usually you still have to have a container that holds that because things get wet, as the ice cream cone demonstrates. That ice cream, when it melts, it makes the cone wet and then it starts leaking. Yeah, so it's really kind of a fun idea. Now, utility, sometimes we use this word to talk about our electricity and our water. We use that in a plural form, utilities. But here it's now non-count, and it's just meaning the quality or state of being useful. So it's got a lot of utility to it, you could say. You could say some experts question the utility or usefulness, you could substitute that words, of a procedure. Or a plan without much practical utility usually fails. But as I said, we often use this in the plural form to talk about our electricity, our water, our gas, things like that. Those are our utilities. And a consumer is someone who consumes something, eats it, uses it until it's gone. Well, these guys can drink the liquid and then eat the container. A container can be anything like a box or some sort of bowl. Something that holds something else is a container. It can be really big, it can be small, lots of different sizes. We've got jars, we've got cartons. All of these are considered containers.
And you've got container vessels that go into Kaohsiung and Keelung harbors, sending Taiwan's products all over the world on container vessels in those containers. The things that are long and rectangular and hold lots of stuff inside them.
And go on ships, yeah.
And go on ships, indeed. And we'll continue talking about these two entrepreneurs' idea in just a couple of seconds. But right now we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要很高兴的来跟大家介绍一种新的环保的杯子。什么叫做环保杯啊？我们不是都有很多纸杯吗？没错，除了纸杯之外，其实还有另外一种可以吃的杯子耶，也就是有点像是冰淇淋，我们在吃完之后还把那个冰淇淋的杯子整个吃掉一样。好，为什么会这样子呢？当然因为现在这个垃圾很多啦，我们其实就算是用纸杯子感觉上比较环保，但是很多的免洗杯到最后还是进了垃圾堆啊。所以我们今天这篇文章是一个综合测验克漏字的文章，我们就先来看一下第一格。第一格呢出现在第一段的第二句这个地方，因为它挖的是一个动词嘛。那选项当中的 A 啊，所谓的 turn out to be，它的中文翻译是结果居然如何如何，其实它有跟预期相反的意思。所以在这句话当中啊，我们不能选 A， 因为其实它只是陈述好几百万个杯子到最后就进了垃圾堆，所以答案是选 B 会比较适当的 end up in garbage dumps。 那为什么不能选 D 呢？这个 D 的 dispose of 是抛弃丢掉的意思，可是因为这一格前面的主词是杯子，所以如果你想选 D 的话，应该要用被动式哦。好，那么同样在这句话当中，我们要看到一个句子的简化其实是分词构句啦，因为这一格是一个动词，那么后面的逗点之后本来就有一个动词影响环境的 impact。那么在这里因为连接词 and 不见了，被删掉了，所以动词的 impact 就直接变成动词 ing。 所以接下来如果我们丢了很多的垃圾，还是会对环境产生负面的影响。好，所以就有捷克的企业家啊，他们就有意识到这种可食用的杯子其实可以把这种环境的资源的这种浪费降到最低耶。而且这些杯子就像我们刚刚讲的，跟冰淇淋的甜筒一样，具有相似的用途哦。所以我们把东西喝完之后，就可以把容器吃掉。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. It's our food unit, but this time we're not talking about the food that we're used to seeing. This is a container that you can actually eat. It's edible. Two really smart college students came up with a way to make an edible cup or a disposable cup. that didn't have to add to the amount of trash we take to the dump. We have so much trash every day. Even I look around my apartment, I think, wow, there's just me and I make so much garbage. What am I doing? So, yeah, we need to cut down on our waste. It's making some countries very dirty, and it's also polluting our air as we burn some of this garbage up. I think Taiwan burns a lot of their garbage, don't they?
I suspect so. I don't know for sure, but I think a lot of stuff that's supposedly supposed to be recycled doesn't actually get recycled, although I'm sure a lot does.
I did a study on recycling when I was with Kodak, and although they encourage us to always recycle and, put things in the right bins, they can't even use 20% of what we're recycling. What we think is getting recycled, it goes all into the trash.
Yep, I suspect that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But we have some people in Czechia here who are trying to make a difference. And, of course, they have come up with this idea for edible cups. And remember, they're trying to make something similar to an ice cream cone. You're a consumer. You can eat the ice cream and then eat the cone. And in the same way, you can have a drink and then you can eat the container. And the two students worked hard to develop a suitable dough recipe for these new cups. Before you actually bake something, you need to make dough, which is a combination of flour and water and maybe yeast and some other ingredients. Butter.
Yeah.
Maybe some sugar in there too, baking soda or whatever. And you kind of, roll it around with your hands and you've got this dough.
That's called kneading. Knead, as you push that dough around.
That's right. You see people doing that when they're making, dopey or skins for jiaozi, things like that.
Or bread.
Or bread or whatever.
Sure.
And they're crunchy. These new cups, they're crunchy and made of natural vegan ingredients, which means they don't have any animal products in them, which means no eggs, I suppose. And they can hold hot or cold drinks and should be eaten within 45 minutes of containing liquid. So if you put hot coffee in one of these cups and you wait 45 minutes, well, the hot coffee will probably dissolve the cup and you'll have a spill of coffee on your table there, although the coffee will cool and maybe it will make the cup last longer. I'm not quite sure, but the point is when you're done drinking, you've got to eat the cup if you want to. I guess you don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't think it matters if it's hot or cold. I think the fact that it's a liquid starts going into the cup sides, so it'll start leaking. So you only have about 45 minutes, but that's not bad. So far, the cups being produced hold just 110 milliliters. Or if you see this written, guys, you'll often see ml. We will not read ml out loud. We will say milliliters. Or cm, we'll see centimeters because it's not hard for us to say.
Right.
So when you see those, try practicing saying the whole word and not just the initials of that word, ml. Get used to saying milliliters. But there are plans to manufacture larger cups in the future that maybe the time will extend that you can actually have liquid in your cup. I'm sure they're trying to work on that too, extending the time from 45 minutes to maybe a little longer. How much do each one of these cups cost? They cost $9 NT each. They're not
equivalent,
cheap,
yeah.
But you know what? You're helping save the planet, so that's a good thing.
And it might even actually be a crunchy snack, too.
Yeah.
Indeed. So the cups are already in use in cafes around Czechia. And again, as you said, they cost about $9 in local currency. Now, the Czech Republic isn't the only country to try this concept. They're not the only ones who are doing this. Of course, people around the world have come up with similar ideas. Let's go to the UK now, the United Kingdom. In England there in Manchester City, vendors outside the stadium of the Manchester City soccer team in the UK now offer the option of edible cups for coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. So if you go see Manchester City play a game against somebody like, I don't know, Chelsea or Arsenal or something like that, then you want to watch the game drinking some coffee, tea, or hot chocolate, well, you've got the choice. You've got the option of an edible cup. You might want to try it. I think I'll have a spot of tea with an edible cup. It ought to be very fine indeed to watch a good game of football this fine Saturday afternoon.
If you have the option, you have the opportunity or the ability to choose something or to choose between two or more things. You might have the option of staying home or going on vacation during the break, or maybe you have the option of taking some extra classes at night and learning something new, or just relaxing at night and staying home. So we all have options or choices. Choice is another word you can use there. You could say, given the choice or given the option, I'd rather stay home tonight. It's raining. So we use that a lot. So they've got the option of edible cups for coffee, tea, and hot chocolate right there. If you're a fan of soccer, I am not, but a lot of people are, I know. These 220 milliliter cups, also vegan and natural, are made by environmentally friendly product enterprise BioBite. So this is a company that's already in existence. Their cups are a lot bigger. They're also vegan and natural, and you might give them a try to see how they taste.
Yep, that's one option. Now let's go way down under to Australia. The Australian company Good Eddie began making natural vegan edible cups in 2020. So Good Eddie, I'm basing that pronunciation on the term edible. I think that's probably where they got this word, something that's good to eat, Good Eddie. They began their natural vegan edible cups a couple of years ago in 2020, and it offers 180 milliliter and 240 milliliter natural vegan edible cups that are now distributed at corporate events. So if you distribute something, you just move them around to different parts of a particular area. A distributor, of course, is a company that specializes in that. So, of course, if you import, say, Coca-Cola into Taiwan or something like that, or some kind of a drink, then you need to distribute it to different parts of the country so people can buy it locally and conveniently. And in this particular case, these cups are distributed or spread out to different corporate events. So I guess if you're in a corporation and you're having some kind of a event someplace, maybe a product launch or something like that, or an exhibition or whatever, then those cups will be available at those locations. I guess they're not available to regular folks in convenience stores.
I think it's a great way to advertise, though. They're getting a lot of people at these corporate events who are willing to pay more money for cups, let's be honest. Corporations have more money than just the average Joe or Jane who goes into a convenience store. They can afford to pay a little extra for their vegan cups or vegan edible cups, but you're also getting the word out. You're advertising by showing people at these companies what your cups do. Innovative edible food and drink containers such as these may help reduce or eliminate disposable waste output. That's really our goal. It isn't creating cups that taste good to eat. It's getting rid of so much of our trash in a way that helps preserve our planet for generations to come. So when we look at this word eliminate, it just means to get rid of something, to remove something that's not wanted or needed. We typically will just say get rid of. I need to eliminate some trash. I would say I need to get rid of something before I'd say eliminate. It's a little more formal, but it means the same thing as to get rid of something. Maybe your body naturally eliminates waste products. We go to the bathroom every day. Our body's getting rid of waste products. It's eliminating waste products. And companies always have a lot of trash and garbage that they have to eliminate. Hopefully, your company's not planning on eliminating any jobs anytime soon, which means they're laying off people or firing people because the economy is bad.
Indeed, and of course, output is just something you produce, whether you're making it in a factory or a person is working hard to produce something, that is output. And I just kind of thought that maybe this idea won't work in hot places like Taiwan because you're going to have to store these things somewhere before you use them, and they'll probably attract a lot of roaches and ants. and rats and things like that. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to work here in hot Taiwan.
Well, I
Maybe
think hot,
else.
humid, it would work in Arizona because we don't have a humidity level that they have here, but wow, in Taiwan it would be hard, yeah.
It would be a concern indeed. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. Let's now listen to our Chinese teacher.
那捷克的这2位学生啊，他们就努力为这些新的可以吃的杯子，就开发新的一些面团的配方。基本上呢，口感是蛮鲜脆的，而且是由天然素食的成分制成的哦。而且可以放热的，也可以放冷的，但是一定要在放了45分钟之内就要把它吃完。那目前生产的这些杯子呢，只能够容纳110毫升，不过还有更大杯子的设计。可是我们在第2段第6句这个地方要特别注意一下，因为这里呢，首先是我们第3格 A 的这个 in fact 指的是事实上。事实上的意思呢，后面就是要加入精确的事实。那么 B 是举例子， C 是前后文意有对比对照的概念。那么 D 的 so far 指的是到目前为止，所以我们如果根据文章的通顺度，根据文章的铺陈，在第6格第6句这个前面这个地方，我们只看到这些杯子呢，它可以装热的，也可以装冷的，45分钟之内要喝完。然后呢，又讲到容量，所以应该是顺着讲过来到目前为止的状况。在第3格当中选 D 的答案是比较适当的。可是在这句话当中要特别注意哦，有一个关系子句的简化，先行词就在逗点之后的 the cups 这些杯子，后面的 being produced 请左右括号，其实它是一个冠带which或 that 的省略，后面的 are be 动词也省略掉。being produced 强调现在目前正在生产的只能够装1100毫升 but 但是接下来还会生产更大的杯子。那么同样在这一句话当中，最后一个字的 once 它是一个不特定代名词，它代替的是前面的 the cups 这些杯子。因为在句子当中，如果已经出现过这个名词，我们就会用代名词，例如在句子当中我们提到 cups 杯子，我们在提到杯子的时候就不会再重复这个单字，但是我们又不是指定这些110毫升的杯子，所以后面的 once 是不特定的哦，指的是更大的其他的杯子。好，那当然捷克呢并不是唯一尝试这个概念的国家啦，像在英国啊也有生产这样子的杯子，然后澳洲也有生产这样子的杯子。那么我们在中间呢，在第3段第3句的地方要特别注意一下，我们还是要提醒大家当成一个复习，所谓的环保产品，环保的在英文当中叫做 environmental friendly。 好，那么环保企业也有制造，像澳洲的公司 Good 也有从2020年开始制造，而且是天然纯素的杯子哦。好，那么接下来我们看到一下，这个 Good 公司就会供应180毫升跟240毫升的这一些杯子。在最后面这一段第5句的地方，其实也有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词从180毫升这个地方，我们可以一直划线到后面的 cups。那么限定用法关系子句从 that 一直到句尾的地方。所以像这样子的创新的这一些环保的产品，其实就可以帮助我们的地球更健康哦。以上是我们今天的内容，我们下次见，我是安娜。
That's all the time we have for today, guys. Hopefully you get a chance to see what these edible cups are really like. Maybe they will come to Taiwan if we can figure out a way to store them and to keep them away from our humidity and heat. But we got to sign off, so we hope you'll join us for our next program. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.